Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to be going over Kim Clement's prophecy dealing with the dinar and the Dow at 20,000. Right, that is a trigger moment for the dinar revaluation. Now, first, before I get into this, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. If you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and also in the comment section. Now, the previous video that I did, having ChatGPT look at some of Kim Clement's prophecies and kind of give an analysis, and just to see if there was anything that we missed, or how AI kind of puts things together, and it could give a different perspective on some of the things that we are expecting. Now, one of the things I learned from that last video that I make is how off many of the other prophets are. You have a lot of people that made predictions concerning the dinar. And when you look at Kim Clement's prophets, not just dealing with the dinar, but when you look at and you can compare, when you verse everybody else, and you realize that Kim Clement stands alone as far as what the events that are supposed to happen. And we all know that what Kim Clement was talking about, well, when the dinar revalues, that it'll be when things seem at their worst. Right? There's going to be then this grave surrender, the Dow below 20,000 points. And also, too, I would like to add this. During this time period, right, you guys have to understand that there's going to be natural events that are going to be taking place. According to what Kim Clement said, people are going to believe that we're going to be judged because of some of these earthquakes. And he says here, April 16th of 2010, but God says, America, I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to chastise. Do not despise chastisement of the Lord, for the earthquake that shall come shall release energy from a place that has been held deep within the earth. Now we know when you compare all of Kim Clement's prophecies together, along with the dinar, there is like a timeline, and basically there's going to be all these events that take place. And it's going to be happening around the time when things seem at their worst. So we're going to be seeing earthquakes also here in the United States. We also have the volcano prophecy too as well. So it's going to seem like, man, all these events, everything going on in the Middle East and Israel, and then we got earthquakes all over, especially here in America, and the Dow's dropping down. The Dow's at 5,000 or 6,000. Right? It's going to really seem like things are at their worst. So many of these people have been wrong over and over and over again, including the gurus too as well. But you have these people that prophesy this wealth transfer too as well. I'm not even mentioning all those people that they have said that it was going to happen this year, right, by certain dates. But they all go against what Kim Clement is talking about. So that was a major thing that I learned about Kim Clement versus all the other prophets. And I do want to bring back to mind like our humanitarian call, that when it comes to the wealth transfer, when it comes to these different events that take place, and it's going to rain on the just as well as the unjust. The wealth transfer is just not for Christians. Obviously, Kim Clement says that it will be provision for the world. So anybody who tells you that the wealth transfer is just for Christians alone, no, that's not the way God is operating here. All right, so I incorporated the Dow at 20,000 point prophecy from Kim Clement into the analysis, okay? And this is the prophecy. And I spoke recently about the Dow at 20,000 points. All of this connects to a massive breakthrough with regard to the dinar. Now we know when he said that the Dow had went to 20,000 points, but all the other prophecies were not fulfilled, like when things seem at their worst, grave surrender, and things really going on bad in the Middle East around that time. That was not taking place. That was not happening, right? So it is for a different time. And so I believe there's confirmation out there that the Dow will go below 20,000 and then go back up to 20,000. And because of the dinar. When the dinar is going to revalue, it's going to change everything.
When we incorporate the second prophecy about the Dow reaching 20,000 points and its connection to a breakthrough with the dinar, the analysis gains new dimensions, particularly in economics and global finance. This additional prophecy suggests that significant financial developments will accompany the spiritual, political, and humanitarian shifts outlined earlier. Here's a deeper breakdown of both prophecies together. Comprehensive analysis of the combined prophecies. Economic significance and the dinar breakthrough. 1. Dow at 20,000 points. The mention of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, DJIA, crossing 20,000 points is a critical economic marker. The DJIA, a key U.S. stock market index, symbolizes the health of the global financial system. Reaching such a milestone hints at financial optimism, but it can also mark a turning point, either for sustained growth or an upcoming correction. Interpretation. The prophecy connects this financial milestone with a massive breakthrough involving the Iraqi Dinar. This could imply that the dinar, a currency that has been heavily devalued, may undergo a revaluation, RV, appreciation, or become more influential in global markets. Implication. The Dow's growth signals economic prosperity in one part of the world, likely the West, while the dinar's breakthrough suggests that Iraq's economy and currency could align with this broader prosperity. Number 2. Break in the financial system in the Middle East. The earlier prophecy also predicted a disruption or restructuring in the Middle Eastern financial system. The dinar, mentioned both times, might play a pivotal role in this shift. A revaluation or financial transformation involving the dinar could open opportunities for Iraq to participate more actively in the global economy. Shocks to the financial system might coincide with the broader economic shifts, potentially leading to wealth redistribution or market volatility. 3. Why the dinar matters. The Iraqi dinar has been of interest to speculators due to its potential for revaluation after Iraq's political stabilization. However, such revaluations are rare and highly speculative. In prophetic terms, the breakthrough with the dinar suggests that divine timing is at work, an event that will surprise many, possibly marking an unexpected financial windfall or shift in regional wealth.
So the common theme is that all of this is orchestrated by God and it's divine.
Spiritual themes in the economic shift. 1. Prosperity in unexpected places. Both prophecies suggest that God will bring prosperity in regions currently marked by conflict and chaos: Iraq, Iran, Palestine, and the Middle East. The connection between spiritual breakthrough and financial success reflects the idea that blessings will manifest in tangible ways, like economic prosperity, once prayers are answered and divine intervention occurs.
And a lot of people didn't think about this, but he said the prayers of the people in Iran, Iraq, and Palestine. Well, you see what's going on with Palestine. Don't you think there's probably a lot of Christian Palestinians that actually are suffering right now, right? Along with Muslim Palestinians. And you see what's happening with Iran. Are things so bad there that they're crying out and praying? Yes, there's a lot of persecution that is there. But with the attacks from Israel upon Iran now, if it intensifies, right? And then also you have Iraq. Iraq is kind of dealing with a period where they don't really have a lot of bad things going on. There's no war, right? You might have incidents or terror incidents every now and then, but it's nothing like Palestine. You do have what's going on with Turkey and how they're striking Kurdish rebels over there and all this stuff. There's that issue, but that's been going on for some time. Now, could things in Iraq get worse again? There could be a conflict between Iraq and maybe the proxies of Turkey, right? And there is a prophecy out there which needs to be confirmed, but war could be returning to Iraq, but not in the same way as it was, but things could get really bad there.
2. Economic prosperity as divine provision. The economic breakthroughs described are not just material gains. They are linked to God's purpose of empowering believers to help others. The redistribution of wealth through the dinar's revaluation or other economic shifts reflects divine justice and provision. God's goal is that his people will have the means to care for the hungry, lonely, and poor.
Okay, so keep that in mind. Why we are involved in the dinar. Kim Clement also talked about some of the other investments and how important it is to using those funds to share the gospel.
3. Financial collapse and resurrection. The prophecy warns of financial instability, a break in the financial system, but also promises new beginnings after the disruption. This echoes biblical themes of death and resurrection, a collapse of old systems to make way for new prosperity.
So this analysis says it's a financial collapse and resurrection. new beginnings. And that's what Kim Clement has talked about. When things seem like the worst, and everything's going to change, and then we're going to have all these new technologies, and the gospel is going to be spread, and people are going to be out of debt, and all these different things. That goes against what other people have said. Brandon's saying for the next 4 years, America's not going to be the same, and everything's going to be depression and all this stuff. So I wanted to make that point because there are prophets or self-proclaimed prophets that when you break down what they say is different from what was already established. I'm going to skip some.
The prophecy indicates that timing is essential. The breakthroughs will come when conditions seem worst. This aligns with both. 1. Historical patterns of economic recovery. Markets often rally after major crises. 2. Spiritual patterns of breakthrough. God acting when things appear most dire. The reference to divine timing emphasizes that believers must maintain faith and expectation. The Dow at 20,000 could be a marker of God's unfolding plan, signifying the moment when hidden blessings will be revealed and the breakthrough with the dinar will manifest.
Timing is essential, and when conditions seem the worst, and that we have to have faith and believe that everything that we have been preparing for is going to happen, and that we are going to see the Dow go below 20,000, and then at some point when it does, there's going to be a revaluation that's going to push it back up to 20,000. And so that's why I say that when you see the markets begin to fall, when you see the markets begin to tank, then you know that the dinar revaluation is near. When it starts hitting 30,000, then 25,000, then hits 20,000, then maybe it goes down to what some have had dreams or vision of all the way down to 5,000 to 6,000. And then there's going to be the recovery. But it's going to seem like when things are at the worst, we're having earthquakes, we got war going on, and then boom, everything changes.
Conclusion. A convergence of spiritual, economic, and political realities. The prophecies suggest a convergence of divine intervention, economic change, and political realignment in the Middle East. The revaluation of the dinar and a shift in the financial system point to a coming economic transformation in Iraq and neighboring regions. Global markets, represented by the Dow, are interconnected with these changes, hinting at far-reaching financial consequences. The prayers of believers, particularly those in the Middle East, are portrayed as the catalyst for divine action, leading to provision, prosperity, and humanitarian empowerment. Even amid political instability and wickedness, God's plan will unfold, bringing unexpected blessings and breakthroughs. This analysis highlights that the prophecies are not just spiritual predictions, but multi-layered messages about economics, politics, and divine purpose, inviting believers to remain hopeful and engaged in prayer and service.
All right, folks. So basically, I hope that you guys have an understanding of some of the events that are going to take place and what are the catalysts and everything else. Let me share this, that if you believe in Kim Clement's words concerning the dinar revaluation, then you cannot believe any of these other people concerning the dinar revaluation when they prophesy about the dinar, even when it comes to the wealth transfer, because things are going to seem like they're at its worst. Now, there's going to be some things I believe that is going to happen before when things seem at the worst. I do believe, and many of you are going to have to be ready to start taking profits during some type of time period, I believe, right? I don't know. We could go right into when things seem at their worst. And everybody thinks that crypto is going to take off when really it's going to be the global currencies, right? But I do believe that God is going to be able to allow some people to get into position by taking profits from some of these different cryptocurrencies and other investments and in the stock market before this actually takes place. But there's a lot of people that are waiting so that they can participate more into these different events that are going to take place, right? So that's what I believe, right? And that just remains to be seen. We have our timeline, we have our map laid out. Mine is only the people that dealing with the most accurate. Many of you have some of these guys that they have a 0% when it comes to financial prophecies, like Brandon Biggs. He has a 0% fulfillment rate on financial prophecies, and yet many of you are still following him. and the hollyberry bush and all this stuff. If he didn't get it right, 13 prophecies from November of 2023 until June, and then that affects the whole entire timeline. You guys are sitting there, oh man, the economy is going to crash in December. Are you sure? Because he said there's going to be a wealth transfer in the spring of 2024. So Kim Clement has laid out all these things that are going to be taking place. And when you compare the 20,000 that ran out of the hand of America, the grave surrender, the prayers of those people that are in the Middle East, Iraq, Iran, and Palestine, earthquake shifts, and when things seem at their worst, these things have to happen before the dinar revaluation. That's all that I have for this today, folks. I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.